So you're saying that in response to this idea that there are yogis and, very high beings who are chanting mantras, who are emanating peaceful intentions
Yes.
into the sphere around them, that the reason that we feel that so powerfully is that one of the reasons is that it's being amplified and held by the crystals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Crystals store this stuff, and then they can emit it. And it's interesting as people, unless you're old like me, don't remember that there was radios that were called crystal radios. You remember anything like that?
No, I came 8 tracks were about the beginning of mine.
Well, about 50, 75 years before that, the first radios, and they used them in the war because you didn't have to carry batteries or nothing. You take a crystal, and it was called a galenium, which I forgot had some different minerals in it. And they call it a cat's whisker, so it's just like a fine hair with a point. And you attach one side of the earphones to the cat's whisker, and the other side to a ground that connects to it. And you just touch the crystal until you find a port. And I don't know what a port is, but it's a place where you touch it with this cat's whisker, which is metal.
Yeah.
And radio stations come out.
How cool is that?
No batteries, no tubes, no nothing. It's a crystal radio set. That's what they call it. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
And so it's really an expression of the crystal is taking the energy from the radio broadcast, putting it into the crystal, and then if you tap the crystal, the information comes out of it. Well, that's the nature and character of crystals, and that's why when people get crystals or quartz and somebody gives it to them, one of the things that that I would consider if somebody offered me a crystal is, first thing is you put it in salt water for 24 hours. That takes the excess energy out of it, because you don't know whose hands and who got it and how they got it, and they passed it to this person.
What kind of radio stations they're beaming into
exactly.
it. Yeah.
So you could get a crystal with some very negative energy in it. So putting it in salt water, I think 24 hours, clears it. And then once it's clear, you put it in your hand.
Because there's some kind of chemical reaction with the salt?
The salt water is electrically active, okay? And when you put a crystal in it, remember I said the radio station comes out of the crystal?
Yeah.
Well, in the salt water, I think the energy that's stored in that crystal will come out, neutralizes it.
Okay.
And then you can hold it. Then it's your crystal.
Yeah.
Okay, then it has your energy in it.
The thing I like about talking to you, Bruce, is when you're talking about energy, you're actually talking about energy, not like woo-woo energy.
No. And for me, it really is interesting because before I became aware of all this stuff anyway, I would be like you, woo-woo, energy. But then from a world, I had to understand quantum physics.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because my whole career, I didn't understand quantum physics. I was a Newtonian physicist, which separates matter and energy, and they don't talk to each other, separation, okay? And when I started to read what quantum physics was about, I said, oh my God, I had no idea about energy, the invisible vibrations, as the shaping of matter. And there's a quote that I use in all my lectures from Albert Einstein. And it's, when you get it, it's like, okay, and it's called, the energy is around us. And in physics, we call it the field, okay? And so in the physics term, Albert Einstein says, the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. Particle is matter, but it says it's the field that gives shape to that matter. And that's the invisible stuff, and that's where, spirituality is talking about fields, but then it wasn't really in physics or anything, and field giving shape to us, and it's like, yeah, now it's pure quantum physics. The field is giving us our shape. And that's why then at some point being concerned about the field becomes a realistic understanding, meaning, well, whose field are you in and all that, because that changes everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so with this project,
yes.
This effort to inspire more people to contribute intentional, loving sound into the field through chanting ancient Sanskrit mantras for peace that have been repeated billions of times for millions of years. Well, maybe not millions, let's say thousands of years.
Okay.
But easily billions of times. Tell me about the potential of that to actually change the field.
Okay. The field, the way that's real interesting in understanding the field is, of course, it's invisible, and then all of a sudden it makes a problem. It's like, what the heck are you talking about? Something invisible right here. So I say, when a raindrop hits a pond, the ripples that come off of the raindrop are the shape of water, but the water was shaped by the energy from the rock. So the energy is now visualized, not the ripple itself, it's the shape of the ripple. So we have all these waves. And I go, so what? And I say, well, when you look at a pond and it's raining out, the first thing you notice that all the ripples are converging with each other and they're modifying each other. And that, so basically everything is connected and everything is energy. But the final shape is really dependent on the waves and their patterns when they come together. Some energy comes together and it enhances power. That's called constructive interference. And in human terms, that is good vibes.
Yeah.
Mainly because you're an energy pattern, and if you're in an energy field that is in harmony with you, two energies in harmony come together and they add up, so that we get more power. Okay, so there are fields that are really good, and you can feel them, good vibes. And as I said, what's good vibes? I feel more power being around you. Not that I'm touching you or anything at that level, because you're radiating energy, I'm radiating energy, but if we're radiating harmonic energy.
Yeah, we're in musical terms, synchrony or harmony.
Harmony.
Right, versus dissonance.
And that's enhancing of power.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then there's another form of energy, and this other form of energy is, let's say this wave is going up and this wave is going down. When this one's going down, this one's going up. So they're not in harmony, okay? And they're interfering, and it's called destructive interference, which is the opposite of when we just said two harmonies come together. They're interfering, but it's called constructive because there's more power. But two energies can come together in a destructive form and cancel out everything. And like in technology, they have earphones that are called noise canceling.
Yeah.
You got all this noise, you put the earphones on, the noise disappears. I said, where'd the noise go? And the interesting part was the earphones have a microphone. They're recording the sound of the environment, the vibration. And then through the electronics, it plays the sound back, but just out of phase. So they're not both in harmony now. One is going up and the other is going down. They're just out of phase. But that, when you add up two out of phase waves, that's cancellation.
That's so brilliant.
To make, those kind of earphones, for example, noise canceling is, it's not you subtracted something from a noise. You added a noise to a noise. You added a vibration to a vibration. So now I say, oh, well, now there's a range. Energies can come together and enhance and multiply and be more powerful, or energies that are not in harmony can come together and cancel each other out. Okay? Constructive interference, destructive interference, but in human terms is constructive interference, good vibes, more power, and destructive interference, bad vibes.
Okay, so I have a question. So if we perceive something, an event either in our personal lives or an event in the community life or national life or global life, how can we deliberately use our vibes to
cancel
or enhance? So,
because the beautiful part about it is the brain is like a tuning fork. The brain works by electrical vibration. It doesn't see things. My eyes are sending in information. No, it doesn't see light. It sees vibration. Sound, vibration. Smell, vibration.
Yep.
So the brain is a receiver of vibration, but now, as we know, using what is called magnetoencephalograph, which is like electroencephalograph, EEG.
Yeah.
EEG, I put my wires on my head, and I'm recording brain activity. I'm not recording visual, I'm recording vibrations. So we say, oh, inside the brain there's a lot of electrical activity, vibrations, which are turned into meaning, okay?
Yeah.
But the new device is called magnetoencephalograph, not EEG, MEG.
Okay.
And I say, what's relevant? I say, there's a probe, it's reading brain activity. You know what? It doesn't touch the head. The probe is out here.
Oh, yeah. I've heard you talk about that before.
Well, this
in your
becomes very
lectures.
critical because basically if I'm reading my brain function out here, my brain function is vibration.
Yeah.
And what am I reading? Vibration. Then it says, not only is my brain taking in vibration, but my brain is sending out vibration. Now, immediately we just talked about constructive and destructive interference. So if a negative vibration is coming into my world, my brain, using destructive vibrational frequencies, can cancel the negative around me. If something wonderful is coming into my brain can take that vibration and put it in harmony and then enhance the power of that vibration.
Yeah.
So the brain has an opportunity to cancel or enhance any vibration in the field.
So that vibration that the brain is putting out, would you translate that to the sound of your thoughts?
Absolutely. Vibration is sound. It's just a different octave, but it's all sound. But first of all, I mean, the hardest part that people, it's very difficult for them, and it was even difficult for me, even reading the book on quantum physics, is there is nothing that's physical. Everything is energy and vibration.
Yeah.
And that's very difficult for the average person, like I was, to say, I'm looking at you, and I say, what a beautiful physical expression, and then to find out there was no physical expression, and now it's like, what the heck does that mean? And the fact is that we read vibration.
Yeah.
And so everything is vibration in the universe, and that's the bottom line of quantum physics.
The field is the sole governing force
of the particle, of what we perceive as matter.
Yes.
So in my class, I show them very simply. I show a picture. I say, first I take a piece of iron and a file, and I file it down, make a pile of iron dust called iron filings, just iron pieces, okay? I put them in a salt shaker, and I show a white piece of paper, and I say, sprinkle the iron filings. And they form a random pile. And I say, throw it away, do it again. Every time I sprinkle iron filings, a random pile. But then I say, now this time, before I do it, I put a magnet underneath the paper.
Yeah.
Well, the magnet is a magnetic field. And I say, now what? I say, now when I sprinkle the iron filings, it's not random anymore. It has the exquisite pattern of the magnetic field. So I said, well, where did the structure come from, It didn't come from the filings. Why? Because the filings alone had no pattern. But when there was a field, the field shaped what we perceive as the particles. And then I go back, Albert Einstein, the field is the sole governing agency of those particles.
So just a shout out to the yogis of the Himalayas who figured all this stuff out a couple thousand years ago and had the language to express this technology in exquisite detail. They just didn't have the machinery to test it in the same way. They had their inner machinery, not their, and so the science of mantra is, for me, the very specific process of creating different magnetic resonance fields so that you get different patterns on the iron filings, basically.
Yes. And they knew this so long ago. And it's interesting because then we talk, oh, well, that was ancient spirituality, blah, blah, blah. And then we come to quantum physics. And quantum physics principles are exactly the same as the ancient physics, that mantras, and the ancient people already knew this. And we had to come all the way up until the technology could put it in a machine and say, yep, they were right. And they are right. So the beautiful part is, yes, you create your life and your experiences through vibrations. So if you put the right vibrations in, you can enhance and empower your life. or you can use it in another way and cancel. And I said, well, canceling sounds negative. I said, yeah, but if there's already a negative vibration, then canceling is actually positive because I can cancel the other vibration.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to ask you another question, which may or may not be a bit more personal.
Personal question. I love that because I can answer it.
Well, it's I want to know your opinion. So, here we're agreeing that this is all possible.
No, I'm not saying it's possible. I'm saying it's actual.
It is actual, right? That the technology exists
Yes.
already within us to
Yes.
change our field and affect an incredible the positivity that we want to have in the world.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, if indigenous cultures knew this for a long time,
yes.
why do we have to tell ourselves again and again and again?
Okay, so here's a simple understanding. The awareness that you're talking about is power. This is a power process. If I understand this, I'm wielding power.
Yes, I am empowered
Right.
to change my world.
Right.
Yes.
And then there were people who knew that it was power, but they also knew that if I can take that belief away from you, I can still be powerful, but now you cannot be powerful because you don't believe this anymore. And so more modern religious organizations separated us from power. Oh no, God has got the vibrations, God knows that, but you can't talk to God. I'll put a guy in a black robe. That guy,
or a white one, or an orange
well,
one.
science did the same thing.
Yeah.
See, that was interesting because
With a lab coat.
Exactly, and that's a joke for me because
Yeah.
previous to science, the civilization was run by the church.
Yeah, which was an instrument of the politics.
100%.
Yeah.
Because if you know how to empower, and the other person doesn't know, then I can say, well, I could offer you power. How much you want to pay me? And all of a sudden, you start to see, oh, I can manipulate.
Yeah.
And so the first thing is this: how can I get? First important thing, there are very powerful people in this world, and there are people with no power. You go, wow, how did those people get more power? This is a joke for this reason. They don't have more power.
Yeah.
What they did is take away the power from the other ones. We are all equally powerful. But if I take away your power, then you have no power. And if I keep the power,
Or
then
if
I
take away your knowing that you already have the power.
Well, right, but knowing means
is power.
is
Yeah,
the power.
gotcha,
If I have
gotcha.
no knowing, I'm powerless about what's going on. And it's interesting because that allowed a separation. It said, we're all powerful, but if I don't teach you, if I'm not the good shaman, I'm not the good teacher, or I am the good teacher, good enough to know that if I teach you this negative thing, you have lost your power, then I can be in the world of, oh, I am the shaman, I am the very powerful person, and you are not. And in today's world, it's like that with medicine. I am the doctor, and you are not. And what did I do? I took away your power because we were all capable of self-healing in the first place. But now we say, no, I got a problem. I can't fix that. I have to see the powerful person in the white coat.
Yeah. Thank you. I kind of had a feeling that you were going to say something like that, but, a lot of this, this effort to encourage people to do the practice that gets them in their own seat of self-empowerment.
Yes.
It's like somehow we have that programming for so many generations. We need to hear it again and again, and I appreciate hearing your perspective on it and linking that to the medical profession and our disempowerment with our health. So
100%. 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah.
But for me, it really is critical because there's this other side. When we're talking now, we're talking at a conscious level.
Yeah.
Yes, consciously I can teach you, I'm going to put it on the blackboard, I'll show you the waves, I'll do all this, and your mind is going, yes, I can see this. And then the issue that we have to deal with is we are not operating our lives from our conscious mind, only 5%
yeah.
of the day. So 95% comes from program. I said, well, where'd you get the program? I said, other people told me the program. And if they didn't give me the empowerment in my programming, they can give me disempowerment.
Yeah.
And then I say, well, the subconscious mind is running from programs. Most of them we now know are negative and disempowering. And you go, but yeah, but I don't want to pay attention to the subconscious. I go, unfortunately, that's not your choice, because what we now know is the conscious mind, if you stay in the conscious mind, you have power. But if the conscious mind is thinking, it is not using its power to interfere with or to enact with the outer world. Thinking is using the power to go to the inner world. So a thought is not outside, a thought is inside. Yeah, but the conscious is reading the thought. So I said, well, what does that mean? I said, well, the conscious is helping me create this world. Oh, but wait, the moment I'm thinking, I have to take that consciousness, redirect it, not look out, but redirect it, because thinking is inside. So I said, well, what does that mean? I said, well, the moment you are thinking, you are not creating your world at this moment. I said, what does that mean? I say, if you're driving the car and all of a sudden you start thinking, what it means is you're not looking out the window anymore. You are now looking inside, because answers for thoughts are on the inside. And then you go, oh my God, you stop looking out the window, the car's going to crash. And I go, cool part, or not.
Yeah.
The subconscious is autopilot. So the moment consciousness is not paying attention, the subconscious takes the wheel. But now comes the problem. The subconscious is not you, it's the program. So if I got bad driving instructions, then when the subconscious takes the wheel as autopilot, it's going to take me down the road to ruin. It's not going to take me to where conscious says, I want to have this wonderful success. But my program is, you're not worthy, you're not smart enough, you're not deserving. So when that program grabs the wheel, it's not going to take me to success. It's going to take me to where the program goes. So if I disempower you in your programming, and 95% of your life comes from that, the rest of your life is struggle. And it's not because you couldn't create it, it's just you didn't realize that this subconscious guy is working 95% of the time, and you don't see it. And this is where, how come life seems to be a struggle from the outside coming in, when it's like, oh my God, you didn't get it. You're creating both success and you're creating failure. It's not coming from outside.
Yeah.
And this is why I love the idea of the mantra and the chanting, because it raises our vibration, it raises our consciousness. And while you're doing it, you are not thinking.
No, and you're creating, literally, you're creating different sonic or energetic, or you could say that those magnetic fields,
Yes.
which are these very synchronous vibratory patterns that allow the subconscious to become slowly more conscious.
Well,
and sometimes they even just displace it, like they just dissipate those.
That is a wonderful time when that happens, because usually it's a little bit more work to get that through.
My personal experience as a long time dedicated mantra practitioner is that sometimes, you have to get in there and dig consciously, and a lot of times there's a change in the field, and stuff that was not so stuck in there starts to get softer, and it's pretty amazing.
And so I want to add to what your understanding is, because it's this: how does the subconscious learn? And the answer is repetition is one of the big ways. If you do mantra once and you walk away, it's like, did my life change? I just did a mantra.
Probably not.
Probably not. But if I have a practice of mantra, repetition, it will write a program. So if you are doing a mantra with empowerment and energy of harmony and energy of love built into that mantra, and you repeat it, the subconscious learns from repetition. So the practice becomes very critical in putting it together. And that's why the more you do it, the more power you have.
Feeling it.
Well,
I'm sure we could just riff on these subjects until it's dark and there's no more light for the video. But this was just Perfect. Thank you.
Well, I
Thank
want
you,
to
Bruce.
thank you because I also want you to understand, well, yes, I can do a mantra and affect my own consciousness, but that mantra is a vibration that goes out and it affects the consciousness of everyone around.
Yeah.
So mantra is good two ways.
Yeah.
Mantra makes me more empowered, but when you do it and the more people that do it,
Yeah.
the more amplification of the vibration, the field. And if it's a mantra, which is a vibration of harmony and love and wholeness and all that, the more people who do it, the more frequently they do it, they infuse the field that even a person who is not even conscious of what the heck is going on will walk into that field and feel the meaning of the mantra.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why we're doing what we're doing.
And I'm glad you're doing what you're doing because this world needs some more harmony because the vibrations that we have are really canceling our life experiences on this planet.
Yep, they are significantly detracting from joy.
They absolutely are.
Yes.
And there is this other destination. Joy doesn't have to be this momentary glimpse. Joy is you wake up in the morning till you fall asleep at night, and then even probably in the night you're doing the joy.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you
thank
because you are manifesting, teaching and manifesting fields that enhance life on this planet, not just people's lives. All living organisms respond to these fields.
Yeah. And my feeling is that all of us who have the capacity to hear that message, and all of us who have consciousness and feeling awareness, have a duty to life to contribute in some way. And it's maybe our greatest human need also, is that need to contribute to life. So
that it's really important. So just because I add a little biology to that, when people have nothing to contribute to life, their lives get very short because there's a feedback, and the consciousness says, "What am I doing?" And this is why there's a lot of problem. People retire because what are they telling themselves? Now I'm not doing anything. And the feedback to the body is, if I'm not doing anything, the body goes, and then why am I here? And it will actually, that's why people after retirement, really many of them just have a very short life because they stop participating. And that's telling feedback, I have no function. And then the game over.
Yep. And as you know, I often tell people too, it's like, if you can think, you can do mantra. Like if you have that capacity to think, you don't even have to say it out loud. You can contribute to life by repeating these sonic formula that are infused with love into the world. So it's a good thing to do, you know.
It's a good thing for yourself. It's a good thing for the planet. And actually, and we talk about celestial music, celestial harmony, which is everything in the universe is vibrating. And when it's in harmony, it holds everything together. Thank you.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you, birds.
We just went straight into it, but if you didn't pick it up already, this is the one and only Dr. Bruce. Oh, that's right, you don't exist. You're just a field.
I am.
Bruce Lipton.
Yes, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
And I wish you the most wonderful success. You know why? Because your success becomes my success. Thank you.
Same.
Thank you.
Same. Thank you.
Chant.